Hello everybody. So in my last two classes you have seen that how to work with Python libraries, and today we will see that what is random number and how random numbers are used in Python. What is random number? Random numbers are numbers that occurs in a sequence such that two conditions are met. The first one is the values are uniformly distributed over and defined over a defined interval or set, and second one is it is impossible to predict the future value based on the past or present one. So this is actually a random number. It is very difficult to predict on the basis of one or another. You cannot say that what type of number will be generated. This is what explained here. In simple words, we can say that random numbers generated by random numbers are nothing but numbers generated by chance. That is randomly is called random number. So this is the meaning of random number. Now here I am showing you the use of random number. So what are the different uses of random number? So as far as use of random number is concerned, it is used to obtain the representative sample and can be used use of a table of random numbers to select each member of the sample set. By using a random number table, all members in the population will have an equal and independent chance of being selected for the sample group. This is in fact related with two different mathematical theories. One is probability and another one is statistics. And you can understand by the statement. So here I have given a table, and this is representing the population here, and from here the sampling will be done. So this is how actually random numbers are used in real life. Now if you think about some of the gaming softwares even, then those gaming softwares also uses a random number. Like say I am giving a very simple example, like Ludo. Ludo is a game that is a very popular game in India, and if you think about the dice that is used over there, a random number is used for generating the numbers that is present in the dice. Now we will talk about two different things, that is pseudo random numbers. So what is pseudo random number? You can see here that I have written a set of values or elements that is statistically random, but it is derived from a known starting point and it is typically repeated over and over. It is called pseudo random number because the algorithm can repeat the sequence and the numbers are thus not entirely random. So if you talk about pseudo random numbers, then the random numbers that is in fact generated by your computer is those numbers are known as actually pseudo random numbers. They are not actually random numbers, but they are pseudo random numbers. If you know the algorithm of this one, then one can very easily predict, or one can predict that what the next number will be. But it is also very difficult algorithm. It is not easy to predict always. Pseudo random number generators are very different. They act as a black box which takes one number called the seed and produces a sequence of beats. Now here comes one term, that is seed. What is seed? Now all the algorithm, if you think about prime numbers or any other algorithm, then all algorithm actually starts from a particular point. So if you talk about pseudo random number, so the random number that is generated by the computer is known as pseudo random number. It means some algorithm is associated with pseudo random number. So this algorithm is also having some starting value or starting point, and we call this one as pseudo random number. This sequence is said to be pseudo random if it passes a number of statistical tests and thus appears random. So we call this one as a random number. So this is actually the meaning of pseudo random number. So there are two different things. You can say that there is random number and another one is pseudo random number. So seed value of a pseudo random number, you can say, is taken by the system. It may be the algorithm whatever is used by that particular programming language may be using the hash key of your computer as the seed value, or it may take some value from the clock that is always ticking in your computer. So the seed value depends on many factors, and this is how the seeds are generated. Now next I am coming to that how random numbers are generated in Python. Instead of discussing all these things, let us get into it directly. That is how to generate random numbers in Python. So there are two different steps commonly. The first one is import random module in your program. Random module, the way I've shown you that how to import some modules, so you can import even random module. This is one library that is already present in Python. If you want to use it, then you can use it directly. So you can write import random, and all the functions that is related with random will directly come in your program. Two commonly used random functions are present in it. They are random, and the second one is randint. So these are two different functions. So random function, it generates, you can see here that I have written that it returns a random floating point number n in range 0.0 to 1.0. So in fact random number don't takes any argument, as the range is fixed here, therefore it always generates a number between this. And if you want to change the range, I will show you that how to change the range. And on the other hand, randint is a function, and that is it returns integer n in the range x and y. So two arguments it takes, that is what will be the starting point and what is the ending point, where you can say that x is less than or equal to n and n is less than or equal to y. So this is the meaning of these two different functions that is used, and we can import it and use it. So let us get into the coding of this one and see that how to use these two functions. First we will do this. Okay, so here you can see that I have already created one blank file here to demonstrate that how it works. So this is the coding part here. We will write the code and we will check out that how random works. So the first thing is we will write import and then random. We are importing the module. Whatever functions are there in this particular module, you are importing it. So first we will see the use of random. So my suggestion is, while you are importing anything, then you can use always the alias name the way I have shown you earlier. So you can write in this way, import random as R. So random, the nickname of random is R. Okay, random module is R. I'm using a variable here, x is equal to random, r.random, r.random. Okay, so this is a function. You can see that it is not taking any argument. Otherwise, one help file would have appeared here, but it never takes any argument. It generates random number. Now we will directly go call the print statement here, and we will print x here. Now let us see the program. So I am writing this one. Test is the name of the program. So we are testing the program here, and let us run it. Now you can see the output that is generated. This is the random number that is generated here. The range, as I told you, from 0.0 to 1.0. In between this range, anything may get generated. So this is how it is generated. So the range is fixed here. Now say I want to change the range here. Then you can use two different operators here. Either you can use plus operator or you can use multiplication operator. So I'm showing you the use of plus operator. Say you are using 10. It means what will happen, that all the numbers will come like this, 10.62, 10 point means this is fixed now. Again, in a way you can say that this is fixed to some extent because the integer part of the number is fixed, but the fraction part is changing all the time. So this is how you can change the range of the number. So by default, again I am repeating, the range is from 0 to 0.0 to 1.0. In between this range it generates a random number. The number of digits you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 digits. So after decimal it generates 13 digits. Now let us try with this multiplication operator. So r dot random, whatever random number is generated, and with this 10 is multiplied. Now save it and let us run the program. So 8.153. So now integer part you can see that it is changing, and the fraction part is all, there is a big change or difference is there. So these are the outputs that is generated. You can see the change here. So this is how it is working. Say if I change the precision here, if I change the range here like this, you can see the output that is generated. So this is how it is done. So whatever number is generated with this 100 is multiplied. It means now the random number that is generated from here will be in between the range, you can say point something to 0.0 to 100. This is the range. Now, so this is a random number. Now let us see that how randint works. So we'll use the same space for randint. So I'm using here r dot randint. So you can see the name of the function here. This is randint function. And now you can see that two different arguments are, the system is asking for two different arguments. A and B are the arguments here. So A is the minimum range and this is the maximum range. So if I write a statement here 1, 100, then what will happen? Then any number between 1 to 100 without fraction, now int is there, so without fraction will be stored in X. Any number between 1 to 100. Now keep in mind 1 and 100, both the numbers are included here. Now save it and let's run it for, now you can see that 31 is generated. Next you are running 28 is generated, 85 is generated, 84, 48. So it is generating random numbers here. So any number can be generated from here. I hope that you have understood that what is random and what is randint. So let us revise it again. What is random? Random actually generates a floating point random number where the range is fixed, no argument is required. It is from 0.0 to 1.0, 0.0 to 1.0. And as far as randint function is concerned, randint function generates random number in between the range. So the range can be specified here. If you want to start from 10, then you can always write 10. Then run the program like this. So nothing, no number will be generated, nothing less than 10 will be generated here. Equal to 10 may be there. So this is how it is generated. Now this is how it works. Now let us write a program, or rather let us write a game where we will be using this random number. Okay, so let us see the use of a random number. For this we will write a small, very small game on random number. So the game is all about that the user will be entering one number, a random number will be generated, and we will see that in how many attempts the user guesses that particular number. So let's start it. So first we will write import random as r, or you can use any other variable name. Then I'm using a variable, say c is equal to 1. This is the counter that is used. Afterwards, what I will do, I will use a while loop. I don't know that how far this loop will be executed. So while true, this is the loop used here. So this is infinite loop. Inside this loop, what we will do, we will write a statement here, and that statement is num is equal to randint, and then you can put the range here, whatever range you want. So this is the number that is generated in this part. Now if you keep it within the loop, this is the loop running. If you keep it within the loop, then it will keep on generating the number. If you want the user of this program to guess this number, then in this particular program, the number, the randint function should work only once. And therefore, before writing this one, you can do one more thing. That is, if the value of c is equal to 1, then only it will do this part. Otherwise, it will not generate random number. So here we have given a checking. If the value of c happens to be 1, then only randint function will come into play and will generate a random number. Now you can see that one error is coming, that undefined name randint. So we have to write here r dot in fact. Now what is our next step? Our next step is to test the condition here. Rather, we'll be taking one input from the user. So you know how to take input. So int of input, and then ask the user to pass something here. So you can write here enter a number between 1 to 100. Okay. Now the user will enter the number. Now we will compare it. If the number entered by the user, means n, is equal to the generated number, means num, then what will happen? Then we can print a statement here. Print you guessed correct in the number of attempts you can write, that is c attempts. Okay, so this is the first part of the program. Now we'll continue with the rest of the part. We want to help the user as well, so I'm using elif part. If the value that is entered by the user is less than num, then what will happen? Then we will print a message here, that is number entered is less. Now another possibility is there, that is elif n is greater than the number, then what will happen? We'll again print a statement here, and that is number entered is greater. Okay. So one more thing we will be doing here, that is we'll be incrementing the value of C by 1, so that we can understand that how many in how many attempts we have completed it. So I'm saving the program here. Let us save the program with our game and save it. Now I'm clearing the screen here. We'll go for one run. You can see the output on screen. So I'm going for the first run here. So enter a number between 1 to 100. So I'm saying 56. The number is greater. Enter the number between 1 to 100 again. So number is greater, therefore I'm using 35. The number is less. It means it is clear that the number lies between 35 and 56. So we have to guess it now. So I'm going to the middle point again. The number is greater. It means it is clear that it is between 35 to 45. Okay, excluding these two numbers. So a wild guess. Let us go for a wild guess. It is 38 maybe. The number is greater. 38 is greater. It means it may be 36. The number is less. So one number is there, that is 37. So you guessed correct in 6 attempts. So this is how you can write your own game. So what is happening here? Now you can see that still the program is running here. That is, it is again asking for the number. So even if you write 37, again it will say in 8 attempts, but still it is running because we have given one infinite loop and it will keep on running. So we'll stop the loop here. So we are stopping the loop, and then when it is identified in this particular position, we'll be using a break statement to break the loop. Now you can run again if you want. So I'm decreasing the range a bit to save some time. You can increase the range as per your requirement. Now running the program here again, say 5 is the number. You guessed correct in 1 attempt. So 5 was actually generated there. So this is how actually the programs are written. Now I hope that you have understood this part very nicely, and we will continue with random number. That is how questions are given in your board examination related to random number. This is a sure question, sure short question in board examination. If you don't understand a random number, then you will be losing at least 2 marks here. So you have to understand very nicely that what is random and what is randint. In my next class again I will show you some of the programs that is directly related with board, that how questions are given in board examination related to this. For the time being, if you are having any doubt or any problem, then you can write to me directly. Thank you and have a nice day.